the Dominus. Mean, rugged, muscle. Such an iconic car deserves only a fitting loadout, so today we're taking a look at 10 budget Dominus designs to help you on your journey to becoming a grand champion. We kick things off with the Golden Boy, the most expensive loadout in today's video. The centerpiece for this one is definitely going to be the anodized paint finish. If you apply this to a dark yellow primary, you create that fantastic looking gold, and on PC this paint finish will run you about 1 key. We move on to the wheels and we're going with some black Tanikas. Those have a hefty price tag of about 10 keys. However, these are a fantastic pair of wheels that can go with almost any loadout. But if you are looking for something cheaper, black Sunburst could work perfectly fine here too. For the decal, we're going with an MDGA in white. Very iconic old school Dominus decal, and it looks very nice in creating a clean theme. And the final piece for this design is going to be the Cloudburst Boost in black. It's always nice when you can fit in a Rocket Pass item because those go for very cheap. And for this one, at max, it's going to run you about 1 key, but I definitely do think you can pick it up for a bit cheaper. And to close things off, let's just take a look at the colors. Next up, we have the Champion. Another nice clean car design. This one is named after and designed around the RLCS decal. And no Dominus design video is complete without one of these. In black, this decal is going to cost you about 4 keys. And what's nice about picking up this decal in a neutral color is that it's also going to work with a lot of different designs such as those black Tanikas we mentioned earlier. For the wheels, we're going with another RLCS item, and we're going with some orange Apex. And I think Apex are the perfect wheels when you're looking for something that's flashy but remains perfectly professional. For the boost, I think orange enchanters work perfectly, and those are only going to run you about 1 key. And for the trail, we're going with another Rocket Pass item, nice and cheap, half a key, and that's going to be the orange Laser Wave. And that completes our design at a nice 9.5 key total. The next design is named Storm, inspired by a post that I saw on the RL Fashion subreddit, and it's one of my favorite designs because it's highly thematic. The first centerpiece is going to be the Savage decal in Cobalt, which is very cheap and will run you about 1 key. The second centerpiece is going to be the anodized paint finish. We apply that to the secondary and it creates almost a lightning effect on the decal, and it's incredibly unique. You add in another combo piece here with a metallic primary, and it almost looks like your car is wet, that it's been through a storm, and you have an incredibly thematic loadout. For the wheels, we're going with some Cobalt reactors that are going to cost us 2 keys. You might think that something like Voltaics would fit better, and they would cost you much less at about half a key. However, you run into a bit of a problem when you try to match up the colors of the wheels with the decal. For the trail, nothing's going to work better than the lightning trail, and that's going to cost you about half a key. And surprise, surprise, we're going with the lightning boost. However, we're picking this one up in Cobalt, should cost you about 1 key. I just find that the Cobalt lightning is less overwhelming, and it does a better job at showing off the detail in the boost. So we round everything up and we get a great lightning themed car at only a 5.5 key price tag. The next Dominus design is named Goku. Bit of a silly name, but I'm sure you can guess why it's named after this. We're going with the unique color combo of Goku's overalls. The first piece in the design, and the one that's probably going to catch your eye first, is the new CRL Eastern decal. We're picking this decal up in the Cobalt color, and that's only going to cost you a very cheap 1 key. However, when we move on to the wheels, we're going with some Cobalt Sovereigns, and those are a bit more expensive, running you about 5 keys, but I think these are a fantastic looking wheel. For the boost, we're going with a Cobalt Hot Rod, just because I think the colors match up incredibly well. And the final item is a trail. It is a Blazer. The default color is orange, and I always love to include default items when they match up very nicely. So that brings us up to a total of 7.5 keys, and here are the colors on screen for you. The next Dominus design is Spectre, and it is the only black market in today's video. Spectre is one of my favorites that you don't see too often. What I love about this decal is you can be very creative when it comes to the secondary color. It behaves in quite a weird and interesting way, but you can create some unique tri-color designs. However, we're opting for a more clean red and black design. Now the Spectre isn't too expensive and it's only going to cost you about 5 keys on PC. To combo that, we're going with some Crimson Hikari. I think these are nice and flashy, but they don't really distract from the decal, and they're only going to cost you about 2 keys. For the boost, we're looking for something that's black and crimson, so the Tachyon works out perfectly, going to cost us also 2 keys. and the finishing piece is going to be that disco trail in crimson, and we're only looking at 1 key there. So we tally everything up and we get a nice round 10 key price tag. Moving on to Death. Bit of an edgy name, but the car definitely isn't. I really love the Dominus Afterlife decal, and I thought it's kind of thematic if you pair it with some infinium wheels. One could say death is infinite or eternal. But silly themes aside, I also really love infinium wheels, just because the painted versions give you some interesting color combos to work with. So here we're going with some sky blue infiniums, which will run you about 3 keys. For the decal, we're going with the Dominus Afterlife in saffron, and that's only going to cost you 1 key. For the boost, we're going with a Hypernova. Like I mentioned earlier, I love when the default colors match up, and the Hypernova is very cheap at max about half a key. For the trail, we've got another laser wave in saffron, which has the 1 key price tag. And finally, I highly suggest an anodized paint finish because it does a great job at making that decal really pop. So, tallying everything up, we have a 6 key total, and here are the colors for you on screen. Moving on to the Matrix, a Dominus design centered around the dot matrix decal. However, it also features the iconic colors from the Matrix movie, which is black and green. Now, the dot matrix is fantastic for anyone that's looking for something similar to a black market decal, but doesn't really want to spend those kind of prices. So this funky decal is only going to run you a single key. I think Spiralis wheels fit a dot matrix perfectly, and in forest green these are going to run you max 2 keys, but I do think it will be quite easy to get it for a single key. For the boost, I really like the mix of green in the Tsunami, and a forest green Tsunami is only a single key, and the finishing piece is going to be a forest green disco trail, and I think this works wonderfully here because the dots match up with the decal. So for the price of 5 keys, you've got a Dominus that can compete against designs that have a black market. The next design is the Southerner, a very rough and rugged Dominus design. And we start things off with the CRL Southern decal. In crimson, that's going to run you 2 keys. For the wheels, we're going with ones you don't see too often, and those are crimson Pyramidias with a price tag of 1 key. What I like about these wheels is they've got some crimson in them, but there's also a good amount of manly steel there too, which really works for that rugged feel. For the boost, we need another dark crimson one, and I really like the feel of the crimson blast ray at a price tag of 2 keys. And for the trail, we're going to keep things simple, going with a friction, which will only run us half a key. So that brings us to a 5.5 key price tag. For this design, I opted for the brushed and burlap paint finishes, and I think these paint finishes do a great job at creating a rough and rugged design. So we move on to the pink Souji, and this sort of metrosexual design is probably the complete opposite of the Southerner we looked at. We start things off with the Souji, which is an old school classic Dominus decal, and the unpainted versions I could see running no more than half a key, but you could probably pick it up for cheaper than that. For the wheels, we're going with some clean pink photons running at about 2 keys. For the boost, since we're working with some purple and some pink, I think dark matter fits perfectly. For the trail, well, the classic is purple, so I don't really see any reason to change it. And finally, like I've mentioned before, you can go with an anodized paint finish just for that bit of sheen to make the decal pop. So for the pink Souji, we're looking at a 4 key price tag, and here are the colors on screen. And finally, you know how white people have that aunt that always says, let's take a city one? Well, we're doing that with the designs, and we've got the Watermelon Dominus. Now the centerpiece here is obviously going to be those watermelon wheels at half a key. And these are quintessential if you like playing around with funny designs. We're pairing this with just a regular funny book decal, but there are a wide variety of decals that can work out here. For the boost, we're going with a crimson hex phase, just because I think it's nice and soft, works out nicely, and it should run you only a single key. And at a half key price tag, you can also pick up a forest green laser wave. To finish things off, you can go with the anodized paint finish just for that extra sheen, but I definitely don't think it's necessary. So here are the colors on screen, and it's a very cheap price tag if you're looking for a fun, silly car. So that wraps up the 10 budget Dominus designs. I'd love you guys to let me know which one's your favorite, and also let me know which car you guys would like to see designs for next. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.